Buenos días, es el viernes y son las 12. Hello everyone, it's Friday and it's 12 o'clock, so it's time for Community Spanish. That's broadcasting every Wednesday and Friday at 12. In addition to Community Spanish, we also have broadcasting live on our Facebook Community French, Community Mandarin, and Children's French. So there's a lot more content to tune into here, and in addition to Facebook content, also on our Instagram, we have Instagram Live Portuguese lessons and French lessons each week. So there's even more to catch on the Instagram channel as well as Facebook. So with that being said, let's get into our topic for today, and it's going to be a little bit more of a repaso or review, continuing with the verbos reflexivos or reflexive verbs. So if you're new to this topic, then I say now would probably be a great time for you to pop over to the website, which is rolalang.com here on the banner of the video screen, and you can check out the original video I made on this topic. So since this is a review, I am going to be going into this with the idea that you have studied this topic before. So if you feel like you need to catch the original lesson, or you're just still not quite ready for the review of the topic, then I would definitely welcome you to check out the video library on the Facebook Live page of our website, where you can see the original video where I introduced reflexive verbs before you come back here for our review. So with that being said, we're going to go into the review, and this is the second in my review series of the reflexive verbs. So last time we practiced with an AR verb, and now this time we're going to get practice with an ER-IR verb. So we're going to kind of put our skills to a little bit different of a test. And as usual, we're going to do an exercise together, and especially translations are a great opportunity for you to practice your Spanish skills, not only for certain grammar, but of course you have to use vocabulary, you have to use a lot of different structures you've been learning. So it's a great way to kind of really review and compile your knowledge into one spot. So we're going to be doing a translation exercise together. And as always, I encourage you to participate as much as you feel comfortable. So escribe tus respuestas en los comentarios abajo. Feel free to share your own answers to the different questions, whether you're watching this on Facebook or on YouTube. You can reply in the comments below. Let me know how you're doing with the exercise and share your own answer. So as I said, now let's get into it. So this one, we're going to be using the verb reírse, which means to laugh, and is a reflexive verb. And again, reflexive verbs are the verbs what we are using when we're describing usually things that we do to ourselves. That's kind of the simplest explanation I can give for this kind of thing. But again, if you need a little bit more detail about what reflexive verbs are, you're welcome to check out that original video in the Facebook Live video library on our website. Okay, so let's get into numero uno. And as usual, we have all the different options that we're going to be using to put together our sentences in the chart above. So you kind of need to pick and choose the right things and then put them together in a way that makes good sense in Spanish. So first one, she laughs at the joke. She laughs at the joke. So for she, using ella, and then the form, which is the same for él, ella, and usted, we can see as se ríe. And reírse is even more of a little bit of an irregular verb. So because it is reírse, that you can see we have some changes in the yo, the tú, the él, ella, usted, and the ellos, ellas, ustedes form, where that root is changing a little bit. So that we're losing the e or the a in Spanish. So make sure you kind of pay attention to that little extra change there. So ella se ríe, and then at the joke, we can see from our vocab option is de una broma. De una broma. Ok, entonces, por favor, repita conmigo. Ella se ríe de una broma. Muy bien, de una broma. So we can see here in Spanish we say de una broma versus in English we're going to say at a joke. So the preposition is a little different. Okay, número dos, he laughs in the movie theater. So for he, we're going to be using él. But as we just saw, and again, hopefully as is in your memory, since as I said, this is a review video, so hopefully you don't need to rely on the chart completely to fill this out. Él, ella, usted, sharing all the same conjugation. So él se ríe in the movie theater is en el cine. En el cine. Ok, repita conmigo. Él se ríe en el cine. Muy bien. That repetition of the answer is always helping you to work on your pronunciation and also to help your brain to internalize the information that you're learning. Okay, número tres, we laugh at ourselves. Okay, nosotros or nosotras, whichever one you choose, nos reímos. And as I mentioned in the last video, and I'll definitely bears repeating, that making sure that nosotros and nos are not the same thing. So we can't just use nos as a replacement for nosotros. So now, while it's true that we can actually leave nosotros out of the sentence if we choose, it's not a replacement for nos, which I know is a little, maybe it sounds more confusing than it is. Basically just to say that the nos part is kind of non-negotiable. We have to keep the nos. So, but it doesn't mean the same as nosotros. Nosotros means we, and nos means like to us or for us. Okay, so they're related, but not the same thing. So nosotros nos reímos, and then at ourselves, and this would be de. This one we have to do a little more transformation from the vocab, because the vocab box, it says at yourself, and that's de ti mismo or ti misma. But for us, for ourselves, we're going to say de nosotros or nosotras mismos. So either nosotros mismos if you're using the masculine or mixed gender, or nosotras mismas if you're using an all-female group. Entonces repita conmigo, nosotros nos reímos de nosotros mismos. Muy bien. So anytime you're using the kind of structure of like myself, yourself, himself, herself, in Spanish, we're going to use first the word like mi, ti, él, ella, usted, nosotros, vosotros, ellos, ellas, ustedes, and then we would choose the word mismo that agrees with that person. So if it's masculine singular, we use mismo. If it's feminine singular, we use misma. If it's feminine plural, mismas, and masculine or mixed gender plural, mismos. Okay, so we have to do a little bit of transformation to say the self, ourselves. Okay, número 4. I laugh when I read. I laugh when I read. So I laugh, yo me río. Again, we can see this from our chart, or again, hopefully it's in our head. Yo me río. And then when I read, cuando. And then for the verb here, so in this chart, we have when you read, which is cuando leéis. So we have to do a little present tense transformation here. So instead of leéis for you read, we want to say I read. So hopefully then again, we can bring in skills from another area, bring in our present tense conjugation skills, and it will be leo instead of leéis. Okay, repita todo junto conmigo. Yo me río cuando leo. Okay, super. Número 5. Número 5, they don't laugh at you. Okay, here's our first negative. So they, either ellos or ellas. And then with that negative, remember we just put the no in front of the verb. Ellos no se ríen. And then at you is de ti, de ti. So de mí, de ti, de él, de usted, de nosotros, de vosotros, de ellos, de ellas, de ustedes. So that's what we can use for any of the different people. In this case, is at you, de ti. Repite conmigo. Ellos no se ríen de ti. Muy bien. They don't laugh at you. Okay, número 6. We're already more than halfway through. Número 6. You all laugh at a joke. So now for you all, we're going to use ustedes. If we were in Spain, we would use vosotras, but we're going with Spanish. They use all the countries speak Spanish outside of Spain. Ustedes. Okay, ustedes. And then you laugh at a joke. Ustedes, we can see the form. Again, we either see it on the chart, or if you're challenging yourself to do these translations without looking at the chart, hopefully you can remember it's se ríen. So ustedes se ríen. And then at a joke, we saw before, de una broma. Ustedes se ríen de una broma, which hopefully is something you did yesterday, as yesterday was April Fool's Day. Okay, repite conmigo. Ustedes se ríen de una broma. Muy bien. Okay, número 7. Número 7, how do you laugh at a time like this? All right, this one's a little bit more complex, but this is a useful phrase. Potentially you have to ask this to someone. How can you laugh at a time like this? Okay, so so we have our question word we're going to be bringing in, which is cómo. Cómo. And then how do you laugh? Okay, you, so we're going with the tú form, right? The tú form, which again, if you remember by not looking at the chart, is te ríes, como tú te ríes, or como te ríes tú. We have to go a little further because it's a question. ¿Cómo te ríes tú? Remembering that when we ask a question in Spanish, we need to flip it so that the verb comes first and the person comes after. So, ¿cómo te ríes tú? Versus if it were a sentence, we would say, tú te ríes, just you laugh. If we're asking a question, do you laugh, or how do you laugh? It's ¿cómo te ríes tú? ¿Cómo te ríes tú? And then at a time like this, we can see from our vocab, en un momento así. Ok, repita esta pregunta conmigo. ¿Cómo te ríes tú en un momento así? Muy bien. ¿Cómo te ríes tú en un momento así? Okay, número 8. You formal, don't laugh in the movie theater. So you formal being usted, is speaking to someone in a more polite, respectful way. Usted, okay, and don't laugh. So again, with that negative, putting the no in front of our verb. Usted no se ríe. And then at the movie theater, en el cine. Okay, repita conmigo. Usted no se ríe en el cine. Usted no se ríe en el cine. Okay, muy bien. We're going to scooch the page up just a little bit so we can see the bottom of the exercise. We have just 2 more to go. Dos más. Número 9. We don't laugh at a time like this, okay? And that's another negative. We don't laugh at a time like this. We, as we saw in a previous one, nosotros or nosotras. I'm just going to, just for sake of variety, I'm going to go with nosotras this time. Nosotras no nos reímos. Again, we had nosotros nos reímos as the verb, adding that no in there to make it negative. Nosotras o nosotros no nos reímos en un momento así. We don't laugh. How can you laugh at a time like this? We don't laugh at a time like this. Repite conmigo. Nosotras no nos reímos en un momento así. Muy bien. Okay, last one, número 10. Okay, you all in Spain, so it's when we're specifying, and then it also says feminine. So again, when we say you all in Spain, it's either vosotros or vosotras. In this case, it says feminine, so we use vosotras. Okay, so we're going to start with vosotras, vosotras, and then laugh. Okay, so this is, I can scoot up this just to see if you need a review in the chart for you all in Spain. Laugh is os reis. Okay, so vosotras, os reis. Again, this one for nosotros and vosotros are ones that are regular, so we don't see this stem change. That's something that we've definitely spent a lot of time practicing together about when we have stem changing verbs. And as we know, in general, nosotros and nosotras are untouched by the stem change. So they will follow regular patterns. And we can see that exactly here with a verb like reír. So vosotras os reís is regular. And then when you read, okay, cuando, and again, just like we had a transform last time, we were from the you read in the chart to I read, and we're changing you read from the chart to you all in Spain read. So it's going to be cuando vosotros leéis. Okay, entonces repita conmigo la frase. Vosotras os reís cuando leéis. Muy bien, excelente trabajo. All right, that wraps up that exercise. So if you weren't able to join us for the previous exercise and you want to get a bit more practice, again, I welcome you to check out on the website and the Rola Languages website on the Facebook Live page of the website. You can find the list of all the videos that we have made for previous Community Spanish lessons. So you can find the past lesson I did last time to review, excuse me, an AR verb. And also, if you need even more practice like this, you can check out on the same page of the website. You can find the original video where I first introduced reflexive verbs. So if you need to kind of take another step back before you come forward to come back to these review videos, that's perfectly fine. And again, that's why we posted up all of these videos on the website, so you have these for kind of at hand to review and use these materials as you need. So please feel free to explore, and not just Community Spanish materials, but also Community French, Community Mandarin, Children's French, and Children's Spanish materials are all up on the website, including a lot of extra free worksheets. So there really is a ton of free content up there, and we're happy to share. So please explore and see what's most helpful for you. All right, I'll next be back on Wednesday at 12 for Community Spanish. Gracias y adiós.